Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. From this lecture onwards, we are going to study the rules of drawing the root locus. So in this lecture number 7, we are going to study rule number 1 and 2 of drawing root locus. So before starting the video, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. In the last class, we have solved two numericals of root locus, and based on those two numericals, we had drawn one conclusion, and conclusion is number of branches in the root locus is equal to number of open loop poles of the transfer function. So if the number of open loop poles are equal to 4, then number of branches of the root locus will also be equal to 4. So first rule for making the root locus is always symmetrical about real axis of S plane. That means root locus is always symmetrical about x axis. This happens because the roots of the characteristic equation are either real or complex conjugate or combination of both type. Therefore, we always get root locus symmetrical about the real axis of S plane. And next is second rule. So before studying the second rule, let us assume that g of s into h of s is the open loop transfer function of the system, where g of s is the forward part transfer function and h of s is the feedback part transfer function. And let p is equal to number of open loop poles in the transfer function of the system and z is equal to number of open loop zeros in the transfer function of the system. So in the rule number 2, we have three cases. First case is when number of open loop poles is greater than number of open loop zeros, and second case is that when number of open loop poles is smaller than number of open loop zeros, and third case is when number of open loop poles is equal to number of open loop zeros. So first we will study the case number 1. Case number 1 is when number of open loop poles is greater than number of open loop zeros. What happens in this case? The number of branches of the root locus is equal to number of open loop poles. So here we are representing the number of branches in the root locus with capital N. So N will be equal to P. That means the number of branches is equal to number of open loop poles. And second point is that the branches of the root locus will start from each location of open loop poles. And third point is out of P branches, Z branches will terminate at location of open loop zeros, and remaining P minus Z branches will terminate at infinity or will approach to infinity. So to understand this statement, let us take one example. So here we have taken P is greater than Z. So we will assume that the number of poles is equal to 4 and number of zeros in the transfer function z is equal to 1. So here we are getting p is greater than z. So in this case, what will happen? The number of branches of the root locus is represented by n, which is equal to 4. So the one which is greater, that we have to take as number of branches. Okay. So here we have poles greater than zeros. So we will take number of poles as number of branches of the root locus. So we have number of branches of root locus is equal to 4. So we have 4 branches of root locus. So all the 4 branches will start from the location of 4 open loop poles. And since here z is equal to 1 is given, so out of 4 branches, 1 branch will terminate at location of open loop 0, since here only 1 0 is given, and remaining 3 branches, that is p minus z will be equal to 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. So remaining 3 branches will terminate or end at infinity. Now let us take another case. Case number 2 is if the number of poles p is smaller than number of zeros z. So in this case, when number of poles is smaller than number of zeros, then number of branches in the root locus will be equal to number of open loop zeros, that is n will be equal to z here. And second point is that branches will terminate at each or finite location of open loop zeros. Out of z branches, p branches will start from each of finite open loop pole location, and the remaining z minus p branches will originate from infinity and approach to finite zeros. So to understand these statements, let us take one example. Now we have reversed the case. That means the number of poles is smaller than number of zeros. So let us take here z, that is number of zeros is equal to 4, and p, that is number of poles, is equal to 1. Okay, so in this case the number of branches of root locus will be equal to z. The one which is greater, that we have to take. So here since z is greater than p, so the number of branches will be equal to z. So number of branches will be equal to 4 here. So according to this example, 4 branches will terminate at location of open loop zeros. Okay, now we have to start the branches also. Out of 4 branches, only one branch, since we have only one pole, so one branch will start from location of open loop pole, and the remaining branches, that is z minus p, will be equal to 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. So 3 branches will start from infinity. So next is third case. Third case we have when number of poles is equal to number of zeros. In this case, the number of branches n will be equal to number of poles is equal to number of zeros. Second point is that p branches will start from each location of open loop poles and z branches will start at each location of open loop zeros. And here we have to remember that no branch will start or terminate at infinity, as p is equal to z here. Okay, so to understand this statement, let us take one example. So here since the number of poles is equal to number of zeros, we are taking p is equal to z is equal to 4. So in this case, number of branches in the root locus will be equal to n is equal to 4. Okay, so since here p is equal to z is equal to 4, we have to start the branches from always location of poles, and we have to end the branches at the location of zeros. But here since both number of poles and number of zeros are equal, that means 4 branches will start from location of open loop poles and 4 branches will end at location of open loop zeros. So this is the case when p is equal to z is given. So in this case, no branch will start or terminate at infinity, as p is equal to z is given. So while drawing the root locus, we always have to remember that whatever be the case, whether it is case number 1, 2 or 3, the branch direction is always from open loop poles towards open loop zeros. So hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching, and in the next class we are going to study rule number 3 of drawing the root locus.